My name is Alex Jimenez. Made about $350,000 in email and SMS marketing with my team at Expedia for e-commerce clients. I received 7,000 different emails from newsletters, signed up to maybe 2 or 3,000 of them in the past. So it's a big net, bunch of different e-com brands. I'm going to review them in speed round, give my two opinions. So let's do it. First, Nest Designs. Off the top, this is horrible. No, on a real note, you have a top navigation bar. You don't really want to do that. The reason you don't want to have a top nav bar, as we like to call it, is because you're giving the person reading the email too many different scenarios where they could explore and check out products. So instead of saying, hey, this is the one product we want you to buy, you're giving them multiple different options, which can cause buyer's fatigue, or what is it called? Decision fatigue, right? This obviously looks okay. It doesn't really seem too valuable. I mean, 50% off. I think if you gave it a reason as to why it is valuable. So for example, what is the sale about? Is it an anniversary? Is it a Halloween sale? What is the case? Right now, they're giving no real reason. So it just deters people off a bit. The continuous, it looks fine. Fairly short email, it's very basic, won't say too much. The last thing I will say is that it's a little pet peeve of mine, but whenever brands don't include the logo within the email, kind of just doesn't look clean. So what you can do, this is for you as well, the person watching this, and apparently Nest Designs, is simply have this entire email be one, right? It's a nice little transition there, I guess, but have the email, and then instead of having the logo be part of Klaviyo or MailChimp, whatever it is, put it as part of the design, and then put a dark gradient behind the logo, so that way it's like a dark gradient where it stands out, the logo stands out enough where you could see it, or in this case it would be a white gradient because the logo is in black. Put a gradient behind it, and then that way the logo still is part of the design, but it stands out, because obviously if you have a black logo and a black, or just a black design or whatever, it doesn't look too good. Or if you have a lifestyle image behind, so let's just say imagine this baby's face was like right here, you see how the logo looks like kind of nasty. Make sure you put a dark gradient, and then you'll be good to go. Next one. No. Well, you know what? Let's check out the copy. Why not? Hey there, every winter the scratching starts or gets worse. Why not? Cold air, indoor heating, and even immunity changes can all trigger them. Most Okay, off the get-go, I don't really have anything to say about this. Generally, like it's gonna sound not contradicting, but surprising. I don't think this email would actually be bad. I found that text-based emails, even if they're stupid simple, do really, really well. The only thing that I think they really messed up on is I would just make this a clear call to action. Now, granted, this could be like a service. I doubt we signed up to any services. I'm pretty sure this is a real website that sells a product, but I could be wrong. Let me check real quick. Yeah, home shop now. Yeah, okay. So they sell supplements for dogs. Yeah, I would just sorry about that. I would just make it into a call to action directly to the website instead of like read a full article here. Although you can't, there are scenarios where you can do that, but I would just make it link to the website and then have a clear reason as to why. Like, what's the main reason of the season or whatever. Anyways, Fast Five featured. I'll skip this one. I don't really like it. This one. Oh, we'll go back a little bit. So Fast Five featured content on latest in the fitness trends. Blah blah blah. Okay, off the get. It looks basic. The first thing I would say is just add a call to action at the very top. There's no CTA, there's no shop now button. This is a nice little transition. Not a big fan of it, but it's nice, whatever. This is a perfect example. Now, this doesn't have a dark gradient in the background, but at least they embedded the logo as part of the design. That's what I meant. Fast Five. So what is it? What are they even selling? So supplements for the flu? Okay. It's basic. I don't like the read more now. People think, oh, if I say like read more, learn more, people are forced to shop now. It's not that, and just from reality, you're just making it more complicated for people, especially if the call to action or the link that you lead them to is not the actual landing page. So if this is just like an article, it's really tough. If you like, again, at the end of the day, the point of most, like 99% of emails is just to get them to buy. If you don't lead them directly to that landing page of that product, like I would just lead them to this product, you're losing sales, you're losing conversions. You want to link them directly to the URL. Anyways, outside of that, I mean, should you play multiple sports? I would just make it into a cool thing where it's like, that's fine. Three, should young athletes play multiple sports? And then whatever the answer is, put very, very neatly at the bottom. Let me actually show you an example. All right, am I recording? Yeah, so this is a perfect example. You see how it's like step one. In their case, they could put, number one, and then the question. So in this case, we put, your liver enzymes break down food and drink into smaller parts. here they could just put, should young athlete play multiple sports? And then here, give the actual answer why. Another example is this one, right? Bidders, this one, it just explained what it is. But this is kind of the format I'm talking about, where the number, the question, and then the answer. And then make sure that the answer links to the product. So for example, for this one, we said botanical raw cacao is rich in magnesium, which relaxes your muscles so the process flows smoothly. So in this email, we're talking about how your liver works while you sleep. So in this case, it breaks down food and drink into smaller parts. So we're linking it to a botanical raw cacao. Now, what does this product have? It's a botanical that has raw cacao. Perfect example. Anyways, outside of that, it's a basic email. Nothing else much to say to it. It's just very, very bleak and not too crazy. This one, I mean, do I really have to say much about this one? Let's be honest. That's like a random one. Let's check out this one. Elizabeth Scarlett. I think it's a welcome email. I'm pretty sure it's a welcome email. Give with love, spread joy. Is this text? Yeah, it's text. Not a big fan of text-based emails in that sense. Very basic. So off the bat, obviously, I'm being nitpicky, but I'm just speaking my language, speaking my words out. Shop now button. I would move to the top. Elizabeth Scarlett. This is a nice call to action. Again, same thing. Dark grading in the back. Logo. Then the call to action right there, so the logo is part of the background image. Spread with love, spread joy. This is okay. I mean, I'm not gonna be too nitpicky about the copy. It's it's whatever. Design from the heart. Find a gift. I would make that's fine. It matches the branding. The finishing touches from the moment. It just looks kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It looks kind of splattered around. It doesn't look like a coherent design. Now, granted, it's not bad. I don't want to say it's bad, but like the images just look they're kind of slapped on there without having a nice transition or a gradient or anything like that. As you can tell, I'm big on those things, but it does make a big difference. Makes an email look really, really smooth. At this end part, it's just kind of slapped on, and especially. The small thing, this happens in both the websites and emails. Whenever people put like an image like that looks like this, obviously we all use images, but like in an image like this that just the main email is just text and then you slap an image out there out of nowhere and people put visit the gift shop, it just looks nasty 99% of the times, especially in a website. So I always avoid doing that. If I'm going to go with images, I'm going to make the entire email an image, like pretty much all the emails that we make. But aside from that, I mean, I'm reading the copy. I mean, it's just telling the brand what it is. I don't even know what these sell. It's just joyful, get like gift boxes, I think. Find gifts, yeah, I guess like gift boxes, whatnot. But those are my 2 cents on that one. Let me try to find you a good email that I could go crazy on. Oh, you know what? Actually, this one looks nice. Hold up. Yeah, okay, form. Perfect. Okay, so find your perfect match. So I'm pretty sure this is a welcome email just because of the 10% off. Take the quiz and get 10% off. Okay, so I'm gonna give my 2 cents on this email. Not so much on the design because I've been talking about that for a while, but just on the context. So the way you get people into your newsletter is by having a pop-up form. Now, what do you have within that pop-up form? You could do a bunch of different things. You could offer a discount, you could offer $1 off, a percentage off, a free gift, or in some cases, people do quizzes. I don't really like to do quizzes unless it's on the pop-up form itself. Like if you're using Alia in the website, you could say, like you get 10% off and then get an additional 5% off if you just do this quiz and it's right then and there. But if I'm going to get people to a website, I wouldn't make the lead magnet a quiz for 2 reasons. Number one, nobody's really interested in a quiz. I mean, unless you're like I don't know the word of those companies, but if you're like a full I don't know the name of it, but if you're like a company that like is making money off like SEO and whatnot, and it's just like getting people to the site, then maybe. But if you're selling a product, don't do quizzes, especially if that's your lead magnet for the pop-up form. But that's first of all, I just don't think it's gonna convert really, really well. Second of all, is this. So right here, you're getting people. The purpose of this email is to get people to the quiz, not to buy. Now, I'm obviously going to a million things in your mind. What does this guy know about the business? He doesn't know. I understand. I never met the founder. I don't know what, form is. Cool. I understand that. But let's just figuratively speak, 99% of times, I'm 99% sure that the founder of this company really doesn't care whether the person takes a quiz or not. They just want them to make a purchase. Now, obviously, it's part of like loyalty and building brand and all this, but a quiz is not going to get you that. So the point of this email is just to get the quiz, right? Why you and on top of that, I'll also point this one thing out: take the quiz and get 10% off. In my mind, immediately, even if I'm wrong, that's what came to my mind. I have to get in order to get the 10% off. I have to take the quiz. So think about it. Really, really think about it. I am a new customer. I come from a Facebook ad. I search up your site. Boom, I'm on the site. First things first, I could get 10% off. I need to subscribe to the emails. Fine. That's step number one, or resistance number one. And then it's asking me for a phone number. That's resistance number two. So a lot of people already there is like, man, do I really have to go through this? But that's fine. That's 99% of brands. They have to enter their email. They have to get, their SMS in. But then now you're telling me that, okay, I already gave you my email address. I already gave you my phone number, and you still want me to take a quiz? This is some BS. I don't even want to say it, like, I'm so sorry. But this is messed up stuff. So again, I could be wrong, but that is the point. From like just a consumer perspective right now, I think I need to take the quiz in order to get the 10% off. So that right there, I would immediately change. I would just say get 10% off. And if you really want people to take the quiz, you can make it like an option at the bottom. But I would just take it off. And matter of fact, if that's part of your lead magnet, I would just take that off of the pop-up form, aka lead magnet, and then just do that. But aside from that, that's the main part of this one. I'll review one or two more emails for you guys just to get it. I like Bites. This is actually dope. I actually love their emails. I would suggest looking at them. They're actually cool. I use them for inspiration. This is cool. So I'll just quickly go through this one. I don't really care about the top, but this is a perfect example of the gradient. So you see how like it goes really, really from white to like you could see the image. Here, where the call to action is, where the logo would be. So like, let me actually see if I could do this for you. Please tell me I can move it. Yeah. So it would kind of look like this. You see how it looks like that? Now it's still part of the image because it's a gradient, but it doesn't look nasty like the other one we saw. Anyways, let me try to review one more just to leave you guys with some extra stuff. This one's nice. I actually like this one. The all new. Yeah, very clear. I'll quickly review this one and one more just to end the video. I actually really like this one. I don't know if this is real. I would assume that it is. Let's check it out. With a 23, so it's 33 and 23. Right? Is it 32, 41? What, 32 and 41? 32, 40. I don't think it's real. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's a real timer. But anyways, whether it is or not, there are ways to actually make the timer real. I know some softwares do that. But yeah. Anyways, wallets, travel, accessories. It's a little less like it stands out a little less than like the other one we saw where it's like, okay, you could get this and that. I mean, in this case, I would just take that part out. I would just start the email from right here where the logo is, but I'm not too nitpicky about it. Card holder pro for MagSafe, the slimmest magnetic wallet. Perfect example of a reverse pyramid. You see, I'll explain a reverse pyramid and I'll tell you how this is exactly is. Reverse pyramid, the point of it is to lead people's eyes from the very top to the very bottom. Now you can have a normal pyramid or a reverse pyramid. This one's a bit of a reverse, but it's pretty much the funnels people's eyes from the very top to the very bottom instead of having like, so imagine this text was like over here, this subheadline was over here, and this CTA was over here. That's obviously an exaggeration, but I'll use that as an example. If I am a reader, a consumer, somebody opening the email, I'm going to see that and not know where to put what direction to give my eyes to or where to put my eyes to. I just see a bunch of different options. Opposed to having a pyramid or a reverse pyramid like this, I know cardholder pro for MagSafe. I read that first. Okay, the slimmest magnetic wallet. It just goes like this, and then unlock early access as a call to action. So I read every single thing that I want the reader to read, and it gives me understanding. So I immediately know, like whenever I know immediately what a brand sells and what the specific email is trying to get me to look at, that's a great sign. I always give them compliments for that. And I like this little gradient right here, Cardholder Pro for MagSafe. That looks dope. I'm going to start doing that. That actually looks nice. Unlock early access. Love this right here. Launch discount on early access. I love it. Not sure why they gave me early access. Well, I guess, yeah, part of the email address. I do it differently. But the point is, love it. Two quick, not really unique selling points, but I guess in this case it would be a unique selling point. But just two little reasons for me to buy: launch discount, early access. Nice little product there. This looks a little, but I'm not gonna be nitpicky about that. And the copy, the all new cardholder pro for MagSafe drops October 23rd. Smaller, slimmer, and stronger than ever. It snaps seamlessly to your iPhone. This is the next evolution of smart carry. Enjoy. Okay, perfect copy. Snappy, to the point, understanding exactly what it is. And the most important thing about it, the most important thing I will say about this email, I'll actually make it the last one because I think I just want to end it off with a great email. It's honestly a really good email, is the point. They're getting the point across. People, if you're making an email for yourself, for your brand, or for a client, make sure that you tell the point, that you get the point across. Simple as that. When you start seeing a bunch of different things about, hey, I want you to buy this product, but I also want you to buy this product, and the main reason I want you to buy this product is because of this reason, but then also we have these two other reasons, it's way too much stuff. Now, granted, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I've done that in the past, and also, there's context as well, like for example Black Friday Cyber Monday sale. I am going to promote different products, but the point of the email is the same. If I'm trying to give value, I'm going to give value. If the point of a value statement email is just to say, 10 facts about, phone cases that you didn't know, I'm going to talk about 10 fun facts about phone cases you didn't know. In this case, it's just about unlocking early access. The whole point of this is about unlocking early access. And they don't have, and I actually love how they didn't try to sell me on all the different things about the phone case and it's crazy and it's, I don't know, whatever the unique selling points is. Because what makes up for less information about the product, which uh, take my words lightly, but just understand the point I'm trying to get across. What saves you from not giving enough information about the product is by, how can I phrase this? Is by zeroing in onto the main reason of the email or the main point of the email. What do I mean? I'll say it one more time. The point of this is early access. They don't have to sell me much about anything else. Like, okay, drops 23rd, I'm going to have early access, and that's it. 500 spots available, a little urgency, a little limited scarcity right there, and that's it. The point of the email is just to unlock early access. There's nothing else I have to do, nothing else I have to understand about it. And it's a phone case. At the end of the day, I understand. And then one very last thing I will say, just to back up my point a little further, just very, very last thing I'll say is that I don't know how they segmented me because this is the first email I received from them, I think. But if you have an early access sale, and let's just say, you're going to, perfect example. So they're going to launch it on the 23rd. I'm going to speak slowly so you get the point. They're going to launch this on the 23rd. My job, if I were to do their emails, is prior to that drop, and I'm going to keep it simple. Prior to the drop, I'm going to do my absolute best to convince people why this case is the best. So that on this email, I don't have to sell them on why it's the best because they received 10 other emails as to why it's the best. So it's pretty, and it's another perfect example is Black Friday, Cyber Monday. The emails before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and what I mean is like 2 to 3 months prior to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all the emails we're going to launch is just value and positioning the product, whatever product it is, as the number one reason why, or positioning the product as the number one clearest answer on the thing that's going to solve your problems, right? As positioning the product as the perfect solution, right? I'm not going to launch any sales. I'm not going to launch any new, you can launch a new product like they are, but I'm not going to launch any sales or promotions or anything like that. I'm just going to give value. And again, you do that by value statement, content, early access, us versus them emails. I'll even show you right now. Let me pull it up so I'll even show you right now. So boom, what do I mean by value-tainment? Us versus them emails. Again, talking about why your specific product is cool in a value-tainment way, in a valuable way. It's a fun and engaging way. Unique selling points, features and benefits, newsletters, single product emails, what's inside of your product, how-to guides, how to do XYZ, how to cook a best pizza, how to have a mocktail party, how to make sure that your phone never breaks inside the case, text messages, holiday and season-based emails, reviews, understanding, hey, this person said this about our brand, this person said this about our brand, you're not going to do a sales-based email, bundles emails, right? What's inside our certain bundles, fun facts, not only about the product but about the industry itself, social proof. Hey, did I appear in this magazine? Did I appear in this magazine? Did I get this certain award? Mix and matches, founder and brand origin emails, social media emails, recipes, brain teasers. I have technically like 20 different emails for this. But the point is the same. I don't know why I'm not on the same page, but I'll roll with it. The point of the email is to hype people up so that in the email itself, you don't have to do the selling. You just let them buy with a discount in Black Friday, Cyber Monday's case, or in this case, the email I just reviewed with early access. I spoke fast, told you it was going to be a speed round. I hope it helped. God bless you guys. And by the way, I forgot to mention, if you want us to create a free welcome email for your own brand, feel free to book a time on the calendar below. Within 24 hours after booking a call, we'll send you a free custom welcome email for your own brand. And it's going to be based off our best performing emails that we've ever launched, as well as your welcome emails that we've launched. So again, feel free to book a time on the calendar below. Within 24 hours, we will send you a free welcome email based on your specific brand. And then after that, happy to go over it with you on the call and see if we might be able to possibly help. So talk to you guys soon. Love you all. Peace. Bye.